So Joe Biden has decided to pardon Hunter Biden. And I don't have anything to say about that. If I had a child who was convicted of a crime, probably going to do the same thing. I don't know what's going on, Joe Biden. I expect that you hear this message. I expect that you see this. You have Marilyn Mosby's pardon application. Before it was she needed to wait to be sentenced. Well, she was sentenced. You didn't need for Hunter Biden to be sentenced, right? You didn't need that. So let this be fair. It is time for you to review that application to pardon her.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Micca, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because, you know, once we have the Red Cup, we're about to spill some truth. And today I wanted to talk about Angela Rye, okay? Angela Rye is back, yes, with all her Trump derangement and being unhinged. But today she's back talking about a pardon. Since Joe Biden decided to give his son Hunter Biden a pardon, Angela Rye thought her friend Marilyn Mosby, who is a prosecutor from Baltimore, Maryland, should get a pardon. They have been petitioning Joe Biden to give this woman a pardon after she committed mortgage fraud, okay? But here's the thing. They did not bank on Donald Trump winning the election. I told you guys a long time ago, her Trump derangement comes from the fact that she thought she was going to have a spot with Kamala Harris, all right? And that her and all her crony friends in Washington will be able to just slide on through and be next to the president. I want you guys to watch Angela Rye damn near threaten President Biden to give Marilyn Mosby a pardon. I guess, you know, when you give him 92% of your vote, you deserve a pardon. Here we go.
Joe Biden has decided to pardon Hunter Biden. And I don't have anything to say about that. If I had a child who was convicted of a crime, probably going to do the same thing. Especially when the reasons for taking Hunter Biden to trial were highly political. One thing of note that I just want to bring to your attention is that Joe Biden said that he believes Hunter Biden was selectively prosecuted in this case or in these two trials because he was his son. Selective prosecution is the very thing that we raised in response to Marilyn Mosby and Marilyn Mosby being tried and pursued and sought after for many, many years. Here's what I want you all to know. The same prosecutor who selectively targeted and prosecuted Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, his name is Leo Wise. Leo Wise is the same prosecutor who went after and sought after and hunted Marilyn Mosby. So if Hunter Biden...
Wait a second. So your defense is the fact that it's the same prosecutor. I mean, Kamala has been the same prosecutor for a lot of things. The same office. Like, ma'am, this is not a defense. And to Joe Biden's son's defense, at least he's the president's son. Okay. Marilyn Mosby is a average, everyday woman who decided that she was going to do mortgage fraud. But she's your friend, so you're going to defend her. I get it. I get it. Here we go.
Leo Wise, even when he had another boss, which is the case in Maryland, right? There were two different prosecutors he worked under. He was demoted under the latter one. Nonetheless, this was still his case against Marilyn Mosby that began under the Trump administration.
Okay, so there it is, the Trump derangement. I knew it was going to come. I knew it wasn't too far around the corner. So her defense is that Marilyn Mosby is definitely being tried because this happened under the Trump administration and still going on under the Biden administration. Ma'am, your friend defrauded and now she has to pay for it. I don't know why these Democrats can't take accountability, but want the Republicans or anybody else, independents, to take accountability, but they never take accountability. It's always a witch hunt, just like Joe Biden's son, just like Marilyn Mosby. But Marilyn Mosby did the crime.
So was selectively prosecuted. We cannot now select when someone is selectively prosecuted when we know the cases are hogwash. Marilyn Mosby was tried and convicted for using her own money to purchase property. That is not a crime. They are going after her bar license. They have gone after the property. They have made it difficult for her to earn money. She is out on house arrest, but she is still not free. They have made it very difficult for Marilyn to work. It is time for Joe Biden to pardon Marilyn Mosby. What we should not do is be selective about when we challenge selective prosecution.
Okay, Angela, you are sitting here trying to say that because Joe Biden gave his son a pardon, that he should give Marilyn Mosby a pardon. You all decided to give the Democrats all your votes. You gave them 92%, and you gave Joe Biden 98% when he ran in 2020. So at the end of the day, you got nothing for your vote. And now you're sitting here begging. Joe Biden does not like Black people, okay? He has made that very clear with his policies and how he talks, including on those messages on the laptop. But I digress with that. The thing about it is you guys feel entitled because you gave him your vote. Well, guess what? When you give somebody all of your eggs in one basket, they tend to take you for granted. She's not getting that pardon. Trust me.
So what I'm telling you all is that it is time for us to push again. There are 91,000 plus signatures on that petition for Marilyn Mosby on Organized 4. Look up Marilyn Mosby, Native Land Pod, petition for pardon. Sign that petition today. We are applying all the pressure. Joe Biden's White House, I want to hear from you. Those of you who are my friends in there know I've reached out to you. I expect to hear an answer, and it should be just, because what we should not do is ensure that justice rolls down like small rivers or light rivers or partial rivers. It needs to roll down like mighty rivers, which means justice should not be partial. Justice should be impartial. When there's a miscarriage of justice, we should fight for it regardless of if your last name is Biden or not.
Now, Angela, you keep trying to threaten Joe Biden, and you know Joe Biden does not care. He got that pardon, meaning Hunter Biden got that pardon, clearly because he is the son. I don't know how many times we can say this, all right? He doesn't care, meaning Joe Biden. He does not care about Marilyn Mosby. He has bigger things to worry about, like protecting his son from crimes he did in 2014 all the way up until 2025. All right. He doesn't have time to worry about your criminal friends. You guys are all criminals. And frankly, it is what it is. You gave that man your vote. Oh, well, he doesn't owe you anything. You voted for who you wanted to. And now you want him to pardon you. Child.
To push for Marilyn to be pardoned. I ask you all to stand with us, to push with us, to ensure that Marilyn Mosby reclaims her freedom. For the other folks, Kim Gardner, who was forced to take a plea deal over a $5,000 reimbursement, also a prosecutor. What message are we sending to young Black folks who seek to become prosecutors to balance the scale of justice? We have to ensure that we are making the practice of law fair.
Ma'am, you guys are now trying to make this racial. This is not a racial thing. This thing right here is the fact that your friend is a criminal, okay? She did the crime. Like, she literally did the crime. So at the end of the day, you guys have to take accountability. You don't want to take accountability. Shocker. All right? Just like you don't want to take accountability for Kamala losing that election and owing $2.5 billion. Where did the money go? Yeah, exactly. You never take accountability. This is part of the Democratic playbook. Angela Rye will continue to beg, and she will not get the pardon for her friend.
Ensuring that people who want to ensure that justice is rolling down like mighty rivers, even from the prosecutor's office, that they aren't discouraged from doing that. That means that this is our time to fight, because we don't know what we're up against right now. I don't know what's going on, Joe Biden. I expect that you hear this message. I expect that you see this. You have Marilyn Mosby's pardon application. Before, it was she needed to wait to be sentenced. Well, she was sentenced. You didn't need for Hunter Biden to be sentenced, right? You didn't need that. So let this be fair. It is time for you to review that application, to pardon her, to ensure that anybody else who has been politically prosecuted, selectively prosecuted, that you also pardon them. It is very, very important.
He didn't need her to be sentenced. He knew that. He's the president. He can pardon her at any time, at any point. He doesn't want to. He put you on the back burner. He took your vote and said, bye, ma'am, like he does Black people all the time, like Democrats do Black people all the time. They don't value your vote, and you keep giving it to them, and you keep getting nothing, just like you're getting right now. All right, so you guys just saw that Angela Rye and all her Trump derangement, she really thought Joe Biden was going to come to her defense. She is sadly mistaken, just like the rest of the people that voted for the Democrats. But if that wasn't enough, Benjamin Crump decides to come to Marilyn Mosby's defense. You know Benjamin Crump, the MLB activist, the, I guess, civil rights attorney by day. He decides to go and talk to the media and say that Joe Biden should definitely give Marilyn Mosby a pardon because she's just like Rosa Parks. Don't believe me? Watch this news story. Here we go.
President Biden's pardon of his son Hunter, there's a renewed push to pardon Marilyn Mosby. Fox 45's Mackenzie Frost is back live with us again to break down the latest twist in the Mosby legal story. Mackenzie.
Yeah, Mary, following the news of Hunter Biden's pardon, we got a statement today from civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who is again calling on President Joe Biden to pardon Marilyn Mosby. In this statement, let me read part of it to you. He says, quote, "We want to remind President Biden that justice is still not served for so many in this country. While Hunter Biden was selectively prosecuted, he's not the only one," adding, Marilyn Mosby is on house arrest right now with her law license hanging in the balance over purchasing property with her own money. We welcome a conversation with President Biden to discuss ways to use his pardon power to free those others who deserve justice also. Crump was at Marilyn Mosby's sentencing earlier this year in May when she was sentenced for her federal convictions of perjury and mortgage fraud. And Marilyn Mosby's supporters launched an online petition back in March of this year before she was even sentenced, urging President Biden for a pardon.
A pardon for a convicted felon who did mortgage fraud. Meaning if any one of us, regular private citizens would have did it, nobody would be asking for a pardon for us. You gotta love the Democratic elite.
Ben Crump, as well as others who were again calling on federal leaders to ask the president to pardon Mosby.
Just like they prosecuted Rosa Parks, just like they prosecuted Afeni Shakur, just like they prosecuted Angela Davis, and just like they prosecuted Marilyn Mosby.
Yeah. Marilyn Mosby should have been prosecuted. She committed fraud. I mean, that's what happens when you commit fraud. I assure you, you get prosecuted and convicted. All right. She's a convicted felon because of what she did. It is what it is. But she is no Rosa Parks. Okay. She is no Angela Davis. And she is no Afeni Shakur. Where are you getting these comparisons? The nerve.
Do not let them silence you. Do not let them take your voice from you. Do not let them take the fight to make a better America for all of our children. Because history will remember that you followed your conscience. And those are the people who will continue to inspire a whole generation of civil rights lawyers in the future.
More like inspire a whole generation to commit fraud. Okay. Y'all had all that to say about those people in the PPP loans. Meanwhile, she over there using her mortgage money, her mortgage loans to commit fraud. Child, you cannot make this up. And then it's got to revolve back to race. If anything, she makes Black prosecutors look bad. Okay, just like Fannie Willis, just like any of these other chicks. Like it's just horrible. They don't know how to act when they get into these positions. And it shows.
To reach out to Senator Van Hollen and to reach out to Senator Cardin and encourage them to advocate for a pardon for Marilyn Mosby.
Right.
Now, when this pardon conversation first started several months ago, earlier this year, we spoke with legal experts and attorneys who said it was unlikely that President Biden would issue a pardon for Marilyn Mosby, and it's unclear what will happen with this latest push.
All right, so here's my thoughts. Marilyn Mosby is convicted, and she was convicted by a jury of her peers. She knows how the trial went. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump, all right? It started under the Trump administration, yes, but the prosecutor has nothing to do with Donald Trump. The reason that they keep bringing it up is because they want to have a reason to say, oh, well, I'm being targeted. No, ma'am, you're in Baltimore, Maryland, and your home was in Florida, and you just decided to commit mortgage fraud. It is what it is. And Angela, you're not going to be able to get her a pardon. Joe Biden does not care about that woman, just like he doesn't care about the rest of the American people, because when he decided to pardon his son, he made it very clear that his son is above everybody else. So you're not going to get the pardon that you want. You can sign all the petitions that you want, and you can keep all that Trump derangement, because I guarantee you, Joe Biden or Kamala don't advocate for Marilyn Mosby to get a pardon. And that's the way the cookie crumbles when you give 92% and 98% in 2020 of your vote to the Democratic Party. All right, so you guys get down in the comments and let me know, should Angela Rye keep screaming online for her friend, advocating for a pardon that she's never going to get, because Kamala isn't in office and they have no one to turn to because Joe Biden does not care? Angela Rye should just go ahead and lick her wounds. Stop being so Trump deranged on the internet. She can be it on her podcast, but stay off the internet, ma'am. And go ahead and just help her friend at any point that she can, because she's not going to get that pardon from Joe Biden. You guys let me know. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl Micca, and I'm out. Peace.